hello to you all out there. This is your old friend Eddie Mailbag, and I'd like to welcome you to a special edition of The Roar. I was thinking just recently, and I came to a stunning realization. Even if you figured out the meaning of life, the universe and everything, well, what does it really all mean? Sorry about that. I do digress. Well, on with the show.
Ready for the big event?
Yes, my crew is standing by.
Good. Switch on the auditorium.
Right.
Well, hey everybody, this is Kevin Doucet from Alabama, checking back in. It's been a while. I have been out here listening, but I've just had some things going on. I wanted to contact my good friends, Jim and Lillian Fiddler, and everyone else, all you listeners out there, and let you know that this is the time of the year that we really do need to think about the true meaning of what it is for us all to be together on this big globe. We need to be aware of each other and take care of one another. And remember, you are listening to the greatest podcast in this universe. You're with the Roar!
Tonight, a visit to worlds strangely different from ours, the world of the future. Now, here is the future.
Countdown for blast off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
I'm awake and alive. Good old hibernation. Say, Helen, how long did we sleep this time?
It's been months and years.
Over a century.
Space! I can't bear it or stand it. Earth, dead. The remnants of man, alone.
Get him to the recuperation rooms. Call Pandora. Santos is going into galactic distress.
This is the Patriot Broadcasting Company. The following program has been approved by Texan Women Against the Suffrage.
From out of the silent gas clouds come imagined legends of light years beyond tomorrow in...
Hello there, mister. If there's anything you want to ask, just ask Cedric. If there's anything you want doing, just ask Cedric to do it. If there's something you want fetching, ask Cedric, and he'll fetch it for you in no time at all. In fact, you only have to relax. Sit back, take the weight off your feet, and enjoy a long, cool drink. Or maybe you'd like to eat something. A nice, juicy hamburger, perhaps, on rye bread with a delicious relish sauce. Cedric will cook it himself. While you're eating your meal, I'll be preparing your coffee. Ready for when you've finished. But that's not all Cedric can do. Throughout the day, he'll have attended to the housework. 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 Oops. Sorry about that. A small malfunction, that's all. Just the thought of all that work. Won't happen again. The malfunction, that is. Now, where was I?
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure?
Hello? Duffy's Tavern, where you eat meat to eat. Special today, pig's pickle feet. Archie speaking, Duffy ain't here. Oh, hello, Duffy. Yeah. Oh, yeah, must be 3 or 4 customers here already. You hear that, Duffy? You're in business again. Listen, Duffy, you picked out a very bad time to call up. Yeah, we're just going to go on the air for a broadcast. Now, wait a minute, Duffy. Don't get all excited. It ain't costing a cent. No, the network's doing it for prestige. Well, now, Duffy, I can't brandy words with you now. We're just going on the air, I'm telling you. Goodbye, Duffy. I'll see you later.
Warning, the following program contains language which may be offensive to some. Listener discretion is advised.
Here's a taste treat you can enjoy indoors, outdoors, at work, or at play. Adds enjoyment to whatever you're doing. You feel better, work better, get more fun out of doing things.
Hey, Martha, can I have some more ketchup for my freedom fries? I came awake suddenly. Wide awake. It's a trick you learn around the back countries of the Caribbean. If you want to stay alive. I didn't move. I didn't make a sound. Just stared into the darkness and listened.
Ready to add to your vocabulary? Listen and repeat.
Hi, good morning, listeners. My name is Junior Paris. You are listening to the Republic of Avalon Radio.
You know, I hear the music come through one time. Greetings to everyone.
Hi, this is Indra. I'm from Barbados, and I'm listening to Republic of Avalon Radio. Keep it locked. Keep it locked.
Hey there, this is Georgia from Caribbean Free Radio in Trinidad and Tobago, and you are listening to Roar, Republic of Avalon Radio.
Hi, this is Eddie Grant, and you're listening to the Republic of Avalon Radio. Take it.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Fatima Cigarettes.
Here now is Jimmy Fiddler.
Republic of Avalon Radio, you are with The Roar, and I am indeed Jim Fiddler, and this is episode 110 of Republic of Avalon Radio. The Roar, roaring at you now for 6 years. This is the 6th birthday. We have recently celebrated the 6th anniversary of Republic of Avalon Radio. So big woohoos for Republic of Avalon Radio. Happy birthday. Republic of Avalon Radio, and all that stuff. Light a candle, light some incense. If you're driving on the highway, stick your head out the window and let out a good old hoot and holler for the 6th anniversary of our little child, which is growing up and kind of taking on some of its own characteristics as opposed to what we tend to try to force upon it. And that's had a lot to do with you guys. So a big shout out, a happy birthday to The Roar, and a big shout out to all our star listeners, and you know who you are. The people who've been with us for a while, and some longer than others, but generally speaking, people who stick with us, people who get in touch with us when they haven't heard of us in a while, when we ain't been around, and you wonder if we might be okay, and all that stuff. And those of you who go over to our website and throw some coin into the tip jar from time to time, and those of you who buy the CDs, buy my music, and tell other people about my music and tell other people about The Roar. Just generally speaking, those of you who support us, whichever way you can. A great big thank you to you. And a big welcome to any new listeners. If you're just newly on board here, we have all kinds of fun and frolics here. Sometimes it's just craziness, and other times it's more serious. Really all depends on how we feel and what kind of a mood we're in, because we free in a certain way. We try to exercise as much freedom as we possibly can, as anybody should in these days. The idea of freedom is an interesting concept because it's not freedom to vote in democratic so-called elections, or freedom to live in a certain part of town, or have a big screen TV or anything like that. That may seem controversial to some of you, but freedom is a much sort of bantered about word. And depending on which dictator is talking and using that word, the meaning of the word can change, obviously, and mean something totally different in different countries and different times. And sometimes freedom just means not being attacked, or not having your house burned to the ground. But generally speaking, I tend to look at the kind of freedom I think that's more interesting, that's more useful, I think, to people, to folks in general, is the individual freedom, the right. And even the word right, it's an interesting word, because that sounds like something that somebody can grant you or take away whenever they're in the mood for it, whenever they tell you that there's a new boogeyman and they're going to take away your rights. Well, if things can be taken away, then they're not rights. You can only take away privileges. 2 little words to look up in the dictionary, folks, in case you've never done that. Privilege and right. Totally different ideas. But, the individual's self-determination, I would say. To think for themselves and to be able to make choices for themselves and for those that they care about. Which is, it's that funny concept that seems to be just about on the way out completely these days. The family. That's a strange, old-fashioned idea. Way back when. But there you have it. Yeah, so we can talk about all kinds of different things here. I would urge you, though, dear listener, to enjoy your life as much as you can. Keep your eyes open and take all the good, take all the bad with all the good, and realize the true nature of humanity and life, the universe, and everything, and not one that's spoon-fed to you by politicians or the mass media or a man-made philosophy or religion of any kind. You know yourself as well as you do, and chances are you can actually get to know yourself much better than that. And the better you know yourself, the better you can know other people as well, because, well, it has to do with honesty, and it has to do with respect for yourself and respect for others, and until you respect yourself, how can you respect others? And until you blah, 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 all that kind of jazz. Sounds like philosophy, but it's not. It's reality, and it's very, very necessary, because this life here that we have, lots of people have all kinds of different opinions and beliefs about all these things, but let's try to deal with facts if we can. This is the only life that we have that we know about for sure. We don't even quite know what it is. We don't know if our universe is the flea on the behind of some kind of other elephant, bigger still, or whatever the case may be. We don't know. You can't trust science. Science is telling you one thing 1 minute and something else another minute. I can't even believe that they can take themselves seriously a lot of the time. You know, you go one Monday night to a university lecture and they're telling you all about, well, millions and billions of years ago, back in the pool, we were floating around as these little single-celled creatures, from which sprang a double-celled creature, and subsequently crawled upon the land and became monkeys. After which we developed the iPod and the iPhone, and we're all getting bigger and bigger and stronger and smarter, and everything is just getting, you know, moving forward and upward all the while. And, you know, these are smart people. These guys got PhDs and all these things, and they're telling us all this stuff. And, you know, this is controversial here, folks. I'm questioning something. And most people, a lot of people just dare not question anything. But, you know, what am I questioning here? I'm questioning a theory. It is called a theory. And a theory is just someone's notion about something. It's not something that's proven and hard and considered to be fact. So as long as it's a theory, I think, until it's called the evolutionary fact, then I think the healthy idea about a theory is for everybody to theorize upon it and look for evidence and compare notes and talk to each other about it, scratch your head, sit down on your porch swing and think about all these kinds of things on your own free time. Why not? But anyway, my point is, you know, they talk about this all getting bigger and bigger and smarter and more evolved and all that stuff. One Monday night, you go away thinking, hey, there's a pretty swell thing going on here. We're all just moving forward and upward, getting better and better. Then the next Monday night, you go see another lecture, and here's yet another PhD, real smart guy, up there telling you about the laws of thermodynamics and the second law, entropy, telling you about entropy, how everything is running down and slowing down and dissipating and falling apart, and energy is not speeding up and becoming more in upon itself, but actually dissipating and getting weaker, and energy is just fading away and so on. And interestingly enough, when you think about it, the two notions cannot coincide. You cannot have things getting bigger and brighter and shinier and faster and smarter and more evolved and all that stuff, while on the other hand, apparently the second law of thermodynamics for life, the universe, and everything, including us, dictates that everything is actually wearing out and slowing down. All these kinds of things. So it's all kind of fascinating when you look at it. Who do you believe? I say believe nobody. Don't believe anybody and don't believe anything. And what does that mean? Does that mean that you just don't have any thoughts in your head or any whatever? No. Get to know as much as you can know. But there's no need in believing anything. Anything that is. It doesn't need you to believe in it. That's the whole point, boys and girls. That's my lesson for today. Anything that is. That's all. If it is, it is. It doesn't need you to believe in it. It doesn't need me to believe in it. It doesn't need you to force me to believe in it or me to force you to believe in it. Or 300,000 of our troops to go force some other people to believe in it or whatever. If it is, it is. If it ain't, it ain't. And on we go. That is my tip of the day. Take the information that's available to you and make as much information as possible available to you, because the truth is kind of all over the place, scattered around. It's not in a tidy little spot for you to find very easily. So do your research, investigate, enjoy life. Life is about learning and growing. Learn to grow to learn yourself, learn other people, learn yourself to learn yourself to grow, learn other people to learn other people to learn you, learn other people to grow food. Food is a good thing, and a lot of what we get at the supermarket these days isn't necessarily that good for us. So a good idea to try to grow a little bit of sensible food. Of course, eating is not just beneficial to our health and our well-being, but it's also a very fun and yummy thing to do. The preparation thereof, the more stuff that you do with the food, as in growing it and cultivating it and weeding it and eventually harvesting it and peeling it and preparing it and cooking it, that's stuff that you can do together with other people. And that gets back into the whole issue of people spending time with other people, families spending time together, and all these crazy, old-fashioned, terrible, old, archaic, nasty ideas that must be dealt away with in this modern 21st century, you know? Families and people spending time together and people sharing information and not being offended with somebody else's information because it's all fed to them on a spoon from the mass media or from wherever. In any case, 6 years old is The Roar. The music that you've been hearing in the background is bits and bobs and so on from my new record that I'm making, which is, I think, going to be entitled Leslie Street. I was tossing around a few other names. High Life for a while, because that's another song that's on there, but Leslie Street, I think, because it's close to home. There's a street very nearby here, the kind of predominant street, off from which our street branches. And it is called Leslie Street. And the song starts out with us just walking down Leslie Street on our way down to the water side of Leslie Street, which is Water Street, obviously. Well, maybe not obvious to everybody, but yeah, so I think that's the title track of the record. And it's kind of interesting because the album is a bunch of songs, a bunch of demos that wouldn't go away, and a bunch of songs that didn't really have a place, you know? We talk about groups and cliques and clubs and churches and organizations and all these things that you can feel all special and belong to and all that stuff. Well, these poor songs didn't have anything to belong to. Some of them have been around for a few albums and just been rejected by every single one of them. So this one is really all about the individual song, and just putting all these individual songs together. And as a producer, I'm kind of like the father, really, who is creating a tight-knit family. As a producer, it's up to me to put those songs in an order and in a fashion and run them together and let them all do what they're good at doing in their correct places as best as they can. So it's really, I'm kind of creating a family of individuals where individual strengths and so on are encouraged, and the various little individual weaknesses are smiled upon and embraced as well. Because as I said, a lot of these songs are just kind of demos that wouldn't go away. So that's it. The approach is, though, to put out an actual album, not just a disc with a bunch of songs on it that aren't connected at all, there will be that feeling of it being an album, because I'm an album kind of guy. Just kind of grew up that way. And I do like the idea of, I always did like the idea, I think it was partially laziness, you like to put on an LP instead of having to keep switching those 45s. And I never did like those ones where you stack up the 45s and they drop down one by one. I just thought that was poor respect to the vinyl, and it was ultimately going to wreck all your records, and I didn't like it. So I always like to keep my records nice and clean. Actually, I was one of these people who would buy an LP, bring it home, and record it onto a cassette. I did it a long time ago for a while on reel-to-reel, but that was just too much messing about. See, I'm lazy. That's the whole point. Cassettes were a lot easier. So what I would do is, I used to like the TDKs, the SA series of TDKs. Any of you remember those? The TDK SA60s and SA90s. They were chrome tapes. And I used to like those. So I would buy an album, bring it home, and record it on cassette. And then I would just store the record, and it would stay clean and unfudged, and listen to the cassettes. And that sounded pretty good. It wasn't bad. So, yeah, been an album guy for a long time. Now, in this case, as the producer here, of course, my laziness is coming back and biting me now, because it takes a lot more work to actually make an album as opposed to just throwing the songs willy-nilly onto a disc. I have to take into mind. And if you think about it, take a bunch of songs. This is a fun little idea. Here's a little challenge for you, something you can have fun with. You got your music. Just pick a bunch of songs that you like. I'm sure many of you have done this before, but maybe not as mindfully as what I'm talking about. Take a bunch of songs that you like. It doesn't have to be, all the same artist. You could do that. Just maybe even make a greatest hits of an artist you really like. Or it could be whatever. Well, maybe that's probably the easiest way to go about it, because that's kind of, except a lot of artists do stuff that's pretty much all the same. In this case, I'm talking about a bunch of songs that really aren't the same at all. In the case of my album, in the case of Leslie Street. So that's what makes it a big challenge. But pick an artist that you really like, who does all kinds of different types of music. Pick out enough songs of favorites of theirs that you have to make up what would be the equivalent of a CD, and arrange them in such a way that you pick the one after you picked all the songs that you're going to include. And that's the thing you got to do. You got to pick those 10 or 12 or whatever they are, 13 or 14, and stick with those. And then out of all of those, you have to pick a closer. You got to pick the thing that's going to close the album really well. Pick an opener. Pick a song that's going to kick the album off and sort of give a general idea. Bear in mind that think of it as in nobody's ever heard this guy before. Guy or gal, doesn't matter. Just imagine that you are producing the record and nobody's ever heard of this person before. Beatles, who are they? Bob who? Dylan, what? Cindy who? Lauper, what? Yeah. And so you really got to go out of your way here to get these songs in the correct order. You don't want the closer to end up on the beginning. You don't want the opener to end up at the end. And then you're going to have to find the one that follows up the opener really well, the one that sets up the closer really well, the one that's a good kind of turning point, a midpoint in the record. And then you have to take into account the ebb and the flow of the vibe of the record, because if it's all rah, 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 that gets boring really quick. And if it's all somber and ballady and whatever, that gets boring pretty quick. So you got to kind of have it kind of going at the very least. It has to come kind of up and down, or it can come up, come halfway down, and then up, and then down, on whatever. You see what I'm saying? It's an interesting little practice. Try it out, and you'll get a sense of kind of what I'm doing here, with these children, which are songs. Trying to get them as a father, as the father figure, as a parental figure. It could be a single mother here, I don't know, or a double mother. That's another thing, all this stuff about single mothers. Isn't that what they call them? Single mothers. Nonsense, I say. Single mothers. Huh! I say huh to single mothers. They're not single parents. Yeah, that's what I mean. Single parents. These people who are raising children on their own. Huh! They're not single parents. They're double parents. See, when you have the two parents together, each one is a single parent. Two of them put together are the parents. But when you see, I had some people going there for a second. I bet you I just yanked someone's cord real good. Well, I hope so, because people are too quick, I find, generally speaking, to listen to the end of somebody's sentence and see what they really mean and what they're really trying to convey. Because we're always looking at the other guy. What kind of a hat does he have? What kind of hair does he have? Who does he vote for? Did he vote at all? If he voted, who did he vote for? What kind of religion is he? What part of town does he live in? Well, look at what kind of a shirt is he wearing? Trying to figure out whether it's okay for us to like the other guy or not, without actually paying any attention to the substance. You see? So anyway, my little play on words, my little joke is that if somebody is in the very unfortunate position of having to raise a child on their own, which is more and more common these days, I would submit that these people should not be referred to as single parents, but as double parents. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, folks. Yes. All right. In any case, as the whatever person with these songs, it's very interesting. It's fun. You may find, for example, that whatever artist you pick, you put together a better collection of music, a better greatest hits, or whatever the case may be, than whatever CD you can go out and buy that's called for that artist the greatest hits. Perhaps their best music wasn't even their hits, and the greatest hits is just all the ones that hit the top of the charts more so than the actual better songs. That's quite frequent. That happens. So have fun with that. That's just my little suggestion, little project. And if you do try that, I'd love to hear from you guys how that turned out and all that stuff. And without any further ado, I think I should just push on here because I'm being a bit long-winded. I'm sitting back here in the root cellar, and this episode is called the 1st of June, not because of the date, but because this is the first episode of Republic of Avalon Radio for the month of June in the year of our Lord, 2011, 2011, 2011, whatever you choose to call it. And I'm just digging it. With all the stuff there is in the world, all the not so good stuff, I'm still just very, very happy to be here. I feel blessed. I'm too blessed to be stressed, too anointed to be disappointed. That's what it boils down to. And I wish all of this onto you as much as possible, but you have to embrace it yourself. You have to open your mind, open your eyes. Don't be afraid of the bad things, because closing your eyes doesn't make them go away. The analogy I give to people is, if you're planning a picnic for tomorrow, hoping for the sun isn't quite enough. If it's going to rain, see if you can figure out when it's going to rain, and try to get there before it, or bring a big parasol, or have a picnic in the middle of your living room. In other words, if you want to have a picnic, you can have a picnic, but just be a little sensible about it. Have your eyes open. Be aware of your environment, what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying. Let's just push on here with a bit of music that was sent to us. This is an artist from... And by the way, yes, if you have any music that you would like us to play, please do send it on in. Go to our website, republicofavalonradio.com, and get in touch with us over there. No guarantee that we're going to play it. We may, we may not. And not because we think it's really great or really terrible. But it just may suit or it may not suit, and we reserve the right to make these decisions and just be really kind of, controlling about these kinds of things, because that's just the way it is. So, yeah. Anyway, all jokes aside, yeah, send in if you have a piece of music that's your own, obviously, that you've written, it's your own, or it's in the public domain, whatever. Do send it on in, and if we see fit, if there's a spot for it, just like these songs that have not ended up on my record so far that have been kicking around, they didn't have a place. Your submission may not have a place, but then again, it may. And, well, I think there's a good chance, really, to be honest with you, if it's half decent at all. And you've put a bit of care into it and a bit of work and a bit of effort, and you're expressing yourself and you have a message, and I think there's probably a pretty good chance that we might get it on for you. So anyway, with no further ado, here's a piece that was sent in to us by an artist from a part of Canada called Ontario, from an area, I think, in the 905 area code. Somewhere around Whitby or some kind of place like that. The artist's name is Lou Deatter, and I think he's been nominated for awards, for blues awards and all this and that. A lot of great stuff. Looking at the CD, lots of great musicians on there playing with him, and familiar names on there too. Ray Legier, good friend of ours from the Need Fire show. Way back when. He's on there playing some stuff. And Ray is actually playing on this song. Yes, indeed. All right. Here is Lou Deatter, who obviously must have visited St. John's at some point because he seems to have written a song about this place here. And this is the place where we are, coming to you almost live from the heart of the Republic of Avalon. This is St. John's by Lou Deatter. And you are listening to, and after the song we'll be getting out on Walkabout with Lillian and myself, Republic of Avalon Radio.
In St. John's I was walking one day, such a lovely place, I really must say. There's so much history here, it's all over town. It's not hard to find, just look all around. Now the young and old, they know every song. They all sing along, their culture's so strong. Every song they play all tell a tale of the way they lived, from building to sail. All the people are dancing to the sound. All the people are proud of their hometown. They call it St. John's. Strolling down George Street, a sight to behold. Lots of music there, of this I was told. I just wasn't ready for something so rare. There were guitars, banjos, and mandolins played everywhere. The fiddle and squeeze box were holding their own tune. All the players just loving what they do in their town. All the people, they're proud of who they are. All the people are proud of their St. John's. All the people, they're dancing all around. It's their home, St. John's Newfoundland. St. John's, I was walking one day. Such a lovely place, I really must say. There's so much history here, it's all over town. It's not hard to find, just look all around. All the people that are proud of who they are. All the people are proud of their St. John's. All the people that dancing all around. It's their home, St. John's, Newfoundland.
Hi, this is Kevin Doucet, and you are with The Roar, Republic of Avalon Radio.
So, what's next?
Okay, Mother Radio. This is the copy for the new Republic of Avalon radio station ID.
Yeah, I've got it here. Hang on a minute. This is Newfoundland. First.
Cue the effects. Coming down in 3, 2, 1.
This is Newfoundland's first podcast. You're with The Roar. By the way, am I getting paid to do this?
Republic of Avalon Radio on your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch.
Really?
Available now in the iTunes App Store.
Right on.
Get it today.
Yeah.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
Radio for lazy people who don't want to do nothing.
You're with The Roar.
Yes, indeed. Republic of Avalon Radio happening, coming right at you. And I am Cheryl Witherspoon.
And I'm Beatrice Mavenhead.
No, you're not Beatrice Mavenhead. But I am Cheryl Witherspoon.
You're not.
I am. I can tell.
You don't sound like Cheryl to me. You don't look like
Why
Cheryl.
not? What's wrong? Sure, Cheryl actually means man.
It does?
Somehow. Yeah, it does. Seriously, I used to know one.
Okay.
It's true. Yes. So, Republic of Avalon Radio, you are with The Roar, and we are roaring down the street here on a beautiful night. It's actually kind of warm.
It is. It is warm. We started out last night walking downtown.
And we actually finished it. We actually walked all the way.
But we were so cold.
It was nasty.
Freezing.
It was damp. It was a cold east wind blowing right in our faces. It was damp and cold and nasty, and we didn't like it one little bit.
Yeah, and we came out with high hopes because yesterday was so warm.
High hopes.
And then so last night I went out with my blazer on.
Your blazer. What in the blue?
For the first time.
What in
this
the blue?
year.
What in the blue blazer?
And I nearly froze. So tonight I got my winter jacket on just in case.
You got your winter jacket on?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I didn't want to be cold again.
Well, why do you wear your blazer on a cold night and then on a warm night you wear your winter jacket?
Well, I didn't know it was
now you're going to be
cold
warm.
Last night.
Well, you knew it was warm tonight.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was this warm. And it could change. I'm not taking any chances.
Oh yeah, it could change just like
It
that.
was so cold last night. My hands were so freezing.
They were so freezing.
By the time I got down to the
Or they were freezing so.
Wow. I mean, they were like chunks of ice.
They freeze so, they freeze so. Yes.
You see how we're walking?
I see how we're walking. We're walking very strangely, folks. But we do lots of things kind of strangely quite often, which is a good thing. It means that we're not doing things normally.
Yes.
And there's a lot of things that are done normally that I don't think probably should even be done at all, let alone normally. You know, war seems to be a pretty normal thing. It seems to go on all the time, you know, so that's normal. I don't dig it. I just ain't into it. Not because I'm some kind of a peacenik. Isn't that interesting? They stuck the name Nick. They put Nick at the end of peace to make it sound like you were a Russian or something.
Really?
Hey, well, yeah.
Wow.
A peacenik, you know? Well, it's beatnik.
Right.
Peacenik, I suppose that's where it comes from. But even beatnik, that implies that they're all a bunch of commies or something too.
Yeah, it gives it a bad name.
The beatniks were on the go during, the whole McCarthy era and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of interesting. I've actually heard some old radio shows from way back when they're saying, "You dig me?" "Yeah, I dig you, man." And this is like back in the, maybe 1940ish. So yeah, all that stuff wasn't invented, with the 60s and 70s or anything like that.
Came before that.
Yeah, it was kind of hip musician talk, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hipsters and jazz musicians and stuff like that. Yes, like this little part that I'll play for you right here now.
Hello there, and welcome to the exciting world of hip. This is a new departure in language instruction for English-speaking people who want to talk to and be understood by jazz musicians, hipsters, beatniks, juvenile delinquents, and the criminal fringe.
Bonjour madame, bonjour monsieur. Nous allons, grâce à ce disque créé spécialement pour vous, essayer de tirer ensemble le maximum de qualité sonore de votre chaîne haute fidélité.
Sit back, relax, and close your eyes.
Right, yeah. So.
Hold on.
Right.
I'm going to crack this twig off this branch while I can. This is the twig we always
Oh, this is the one that I always get, is it?
Before the leaves come out.
You're going to pull a Larry Scoot con,
You hear this, people?
Listen.
There goes the branch.
Is it gone?
It's gone. No more banging into the branch.
All right.
We fixed it.
We fixed it. And we're going to maybe fix some more branches tomorrow. We've got my antennas are down from some nasty wind we had, I think, on Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, and we got too many branches sticking out over our patio, I guess you call it. It's an area out back, whatever. Patio sounds a bit hoity-toity to me, but whatever you want to call it. It's not a veranda because it's they're like flagstones, or what do you call those things? Not flagstones. They're like blocks of cement.
Yeah.
And they're painted really nice.
Yeah, we got it done up really nice out there.
The walls are painted really nice.
Yeah.
We got the lattice all around now. Privacy fence kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
It's very nice, actually.
It is indeed.
We got huge trees.
Yeah, and that's the problem. The trees have too many branches and we don't get any sun out there. And so our friend Vinny the Knife is going to help us with that. Yeah. And our friend Graham is going to help us with the antennas.
Yeah, good friends.
And he's also making plans for Nigel. Nigel.
I bet he is too.
I think Nigel's going to come over and help us out.
Really?
Our new fellow ham radio friend from South Africa.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yay.
So I'll get the ham radioing back on, and we'll be able to sit out back and barbecue and maybe eat some food out there and things like that. That'd be wonderful.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So this is the second episode of season 7. We said season 6 last time. We were confused. We were dazed and confused. It's actually, this is, the 6th birthday of Republic of Avalon Radio. And it's officially, when is the official birthday? Is it the 21st or the 24th? I think it is the 21st. What day is today? The 20th?
Right now. It's the
Right now,
21st,
as we speak, it's the... Well, whatever.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay,
Saturday.
so it is like right now is like the 6th birthday of the Roar.
Yeah, the first hour of the birthday.
Yeah.
Of the 7th season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the day of the world is supposed to end apparently.
Well, it's not the first hour of the 7th season because we put out the... I guess... Yeah, the 7th season has already started.
Oh, okay.
You're confusing matters.
I know, I'm sorry.
Stop it. She did this last time, folks. We ended up turning it off and not even using it. So, let's keep things straight here. And let's not be talking about stuff we're not supposed to be talking about before we haven't already said things and stuff like that. Does that make any sense?
I think so. I get the general gist.
You get the gist of what I'm talking about, yeah. Got it. Yeah, so, it is... the 6th birthday. The Roar is now officially 6 years old. Started out in 2005. We celebrate on the first episode of all the episodes that you guys can download. We were actually going a while before that. But, right back into 2004, we were doing a thing using our own server and had people all over listening to mostly music, mostly rehearsing. It was a group I was putting together at the time, spring of 2004, and we were rehearsing, getting ready for a couple of shows and reggae band I put together, 12-piece group, The Experience, and just called it The Experience because, well, 2 reasons, I guess. It was the experience that I was taking to the group that was kind of like the catalyst, but the whole idea of the group in the first place is just for the experience of playing, because you just can't beat, as far as I'm concerned, you can't beat reggae music. A full band with horns and harmonies and good rhythm section, and, Hammond organs and pianos, and electric guitars and percussion and extra percussion and tambourines and tings. So, yeah, the whole idea was it was for the experience. We weren't going to force anybody to quit anything else they were doing. It was comprised of musicians that were, doing their own solo things and playing with other groups. And it wasn't my idea to have everybody quit all that stuff and come and just sort of join my band or anything like that. The idea was, it was something to give everybody an opportunity to do something other than what they're already doing, that nobody else is doing. And you just can't describe the feeling that music creates for a live crowd. It's amazing. So, we were into it. We were in it for the experience. And so that's what I called it, The Experience. But, so 6 years. Happy birthday to the Roar. And, season 7 is already unfolding. And all kinds of stuff coming up. I guess probably what we'll do is get a little bit caught up on not just what's coming up, but what it has already and is still transpiring, I suppose. What do you think?
I think that would be,
Okay.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Well, We have some things unfolding.
We do?
Well, quite a bit, actually.
Yes.
We have new music coming up.
We have new music. And
lots of new music.
one interesting bit in the music is the music that you guys heard in the background when I was talking earlier in my little monologue thing. And yeah, it was interesting because on the 11th, I got up on the 11th, and it never occurred to me until I had actually gotten up that day. I thought to myself, oh, holy jumpins, this is 30 years. 30 years ago that day that Bob Marley passed away. And then I shook myself again and realized, well, that means that it was 20 years ago today that Pressure Drop we did our first show. That was on the 10th anniversary of Bob's death at the Dogs Rugby Club. And yeah, that was I still remember that show. I still remember the people that were there and the vibe. And, you know, it was really something because this was a first gig for a band, but we weren't just kind of coming out and jamming, you know. There were songs, there were arrangements and stops and starts and harmonies and all kinds of things going on. So it wasn't just a kind of a rough, you know, first band thing at all. And yeah, that started us out, and things went almost exponentially upward from there to the point where we were touring across Canada and appearing live on Much Music and had a video on Much Music. Much Music is kind of like, you know, the MTV of Canada kind of thing. And we were playing sometimes in front of tens of thousands of people and all kinds of... It was a whole lot of fun. And that started 20 years ago on May the 11th, 1991. And Bob Marley passed away on May the 11th, 1981. So all of that occurred to me, and I thought to myself, I think I'll get myself into the studio and record a little something to kind of commemorate these things. So I was thinking, I just had some words rolling around in my head, almost like a kind of a Sgt. Pepper-esque kind of thing, you know. It was 30 years ago today, Robert Nesta Marley passed away, blah, blah, blah. And then it was 20 years ago today, Jimmy Fiddler told the band to play, dum, 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 dum. There I am with my sticks, counting in the first song of the first show. And, you know, so I had a bit of music. At first I thought, well, what about Dub Illusion? You know? But then I got in my head, you know, the Buffalo Soldier thing. So I started laying down a couple of tracks just to do maybe like a little 30, 60, maybe 60-second intro, little setup for the episode of just a bit of music and me talking or singing those lyrics. And to make a long story short, the show didn't go up, and it sounds like a strange thing to say, but I ended up doing a full-blown version of Buffalo Soldier, getting totally sidetracked. And so, I mean, it's really weird that I can say that I never did have any intention of recording that song. Never entered my mind. Pressure Drop never played it. PTR before that never played it. I've never played it solo. It wasn't on the list of tunes to learn for the experience, so we never did it either. And in fact, I can say, and this is the part that sounds strange, even after I was in the studio laying down tracks for it, I still had no intention of recording it. Even for a good while as I was recording it. It's bizarre. It's only after it kind of took shape and I had that kind of 1 minute's worth that I kind of said, I got something going here. Mm-hmm. So I just kept on going and until I had a complete song. And
it took hold of you.
It sure did.
Yeah.
As songs tend to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a funny thing, folks. Songs are very powerful things. They're more powerful than the musicians that play them, or even the people that write them. That's the thing. Songs are more powerful than musicians, and or songwriters. And music itself, of course, is stronger, more powerful than all the musicians that have ever lived or ever will live or are alive right now, all put together. I've said that before, and I'm sticking to my story. Yeah. So yeah, and just sitting back and listening to it, it occurs to me that what'll I do with it? I can't just. What do I do? Just like, okay, there, listen to it, it's done, and then just what? Throw it in the bin, you know?
Yeah.
So I do believe that's going to be on the next album, and I suppose that's probably as good a thing as any to get into next, I suppose.
I think so.
Talk a little bit about the new album.
Yeah, it is coming up.
It is coming, folks. It is
You've
coming.
got a lot of material done.
I got a lot of material done, and a bit more sort of floating around, kind of touching me on the shoulder, saying, hey, before you put out that record, please give me a look, you know? Like I say, songs are like that. Songs are ever patient, and they tell you what they need. And songs are also very flexible. They'll give a little, you know? That's the way these song things are. Yeah, so the album, which has been kind of going back and forth between being titled High Life and Leslie Street. It's just kind of, that's the way it is. It's gone back and forth. I think I've finally decided on just calling the album Leslie Street. I seem to be, when I'm talking to people about it, I'm calling it Leslie Street now.
Yeah. I like it. I like the title.
Yeah, I do too. It's kind of, it's neither this way or that way, really, isn't it?
No, exactly. It
And
could be
it's-
anything.
And it's, you know, it's where we live. It's like,
Yeah.
you know. So, yeah, I dig it.
I dig it too, and it's such a powerful song.
The song itself, yeah, there's the reason why I'm calling it Leslie Street, some of you may know, but some of you may not, is because I have a song called Leslie Street, and that's going to be the title track, obviously, and that's the reasoning for that. Going under the bridge here now. This is the overpass. Yes, indeed. How did I know that, she says.
You can hear it. Can't you?
Oh, sounds like it's about to come down. Yeah, well, we're clear of it now, so it can dirty well come down now, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, so, yeah, working on the album, it's coming along really well. And out of the blue, I've got a whole other song to put on it, which is kind of like, okay, what kind of an album is this, you might be wondering, you know? Is it a Celtic type album, folk type album? Is it another reggae album like my last one, Revolution Time, my most recent one? Not my last one, my most recent one. Well, no, none of the above. It's hard to explain. It's, I was sort of thinking, I've got material that's just not made it on the last few albums, you know? And there are these songs just kind of sitting there, and they're like crying out, saying, "Get me out!"
Yeah.
You know?
It's so true. You do have some like that.
They're like locked up in a box all this time.
Yeah.
And for good reason, you know. They weren't, not just that they didn't quite, well, because they didn't quite fit on a record, I guess I didn't dive into them and finish them.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, sure.
you know, chicken or the egg or whatever. So I was thinking, well, what if I just took all these songs, threw them together in a folder, and just had a quick look at them and tried putting them, numbering them, and putting them in an order in the folder, and just putting it on, pushing my keyboard into the little push-in shelf thing, folding my arms and kicking back and having a listen and see how the songs fit together. And I didn't quite have the order right when I did that. It was just the first kick at it. But boy, I'll tell you, it was pretty amazing. I was astounded at how album-like it was sounding already.
Yeah.
You know?
I like it. I like the fact that it's sort of, you know, they're not like each other in many regards. Oh, they're down here a bit.
Okay.
The store's down here.
All right. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of, it's eclectic, I guess you could say.
Eclectic, yeah. You know, it's variety. You know, it's not just all reggae or all Celtic or all folk or all pop or all rock or all anything.
Yeah, I find that makes it very interesting.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't know, like, it's the next song, you like this song, and then you hear, wow, that's completely different. But you know.
Well, you know, my favorite. I remember, you know, a lot of my favorite albums. Say in the 70s, you know, you go out, you buy an album, you bring it home. Track 1 could be a rocker. Track 2 could be a ballad. Track 3 could be kind of this reggae thing. Mm-hmm. Track 4 could be kind of country-ish.
Sure.
You know, it.
Why does it matter? If it's all good music, then it's...
Yeah, I think these days people have kind of taken on, I guess it's almost like the heavy metal band or the hard rock band mentality. All the songs have to be hard, and then they throw in a ballad or something like that.
It's like a formula, I guess.
It's like a formula, and a lot of people these days tend to be thinking that way. The music has to be all kind of one thing, and with a little exception here or there, like I said, all fast songs, and then you got the kind of, you know, the hit ballad or something that you throw on there. Mm-hmm. You know, you're the wind beneath my something or other, right? Stuff like that, you know. Mm-hmm. But no, some of the best albums that I've ever heard and own. In fact, I think the best ones are the ones with the most variety. So I decided, what the heck, I'll just push ahead and do this thing. And yeah, it's really shaping up. All kinds of material on there. Funky stuff and reggae stuff and kind of ballad, I guess a bit of ballady kind of stuff and some kind of sort of retro stuff and some groovy stuff, all kinds of gear on there.
Yeah.
So
I think it's going to be a really good album.
I hope so.
I really do. I think it's going to be one of those that people are going to pick up. Just they're going to love it. I'm sure.
It has the potential. I won't say it, but I started picking at something yesterday, and if that shapes up, that's going to be really good too. A song that I wrote and recorded a long time ago, and I'm kind of readdressing it. It's been wanting to be redressed for quite a while, and I just started having a poke at it yesterday. So we'll see, but new album coming, folks. And there's going to be a whole thing with that, this whole Kickstarter thing that we'll be getting up and running. We'll tell you more about that as we get closer to doing it. But
we'll be doing that next week. And
we're going to be wanting your guys' help with this Kickstarter thing. It's kind of an interesting concept. It's, you know, us fellas that do albums and make films and things like that. You know, we don't have a boss and an office and a desk and a regular paycheck and
accounts payable department.
Yeah, and all that stuff and dental and this and that. So when we try to make an album, when we want to make an album, it costs us, especially an independent artist. You can't just go to your record company and say, okay, I'm contracted to do 5 albums in 5 years. All right, I got my next one ready. Here it is. Already paid for and whatever. As an independent artist, you want to do an album, well, you paying for it.
Yeah, and it's not just
it's a lot of money.
It's not just the materials, it's the time.
Oh, it's the time too. You don't get paid for your time.
Yeah, I mean
the literally thousands of hours I spend in the studio.
Exactly.
And all the time writing and all these things.
That's time when, you're not making, as they say, a living at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So, that's valuable because, how else can you make it happen, really?
Yep.
Unless you go get a loan or something like that.
Yeah, and and it's hard. So this Kickstarter thing allows you to have if they approve your proposal, then you can launch a Kickstarter campaign, and people can make pledges and kind of be part of the project from the ground up, and help you get the money that you need to do it, and
and
keep your house in the process, and eat.
You do get rewarded for your.
You do get rewarded. There are various what do you call them? Prizes? Not prizes.
Yeah, I think they call them prizes. I think.
Yeah. Okay. So, so if you throw in $50, you get whatever. If you put in 100, you get whatever. If you put in 500, you get whatever.
You should probably get it.
Okay. From copy of the CD, a special signed copy of the CD, to CDs and signed posters and T-shirts, and for example, some people might want all the original WAV files. CDs are only 16-bit resolution, and 16-bit, it's really sad, but everyone says CD quality. Well, CD quality really isn't that great. It's only 16-bit resolution. We're in the studio recording at 24-bit. Everyone does. Nobody records at 16-bit anymore. And digital recording has just gotten so much better. So that might be something that some people might want. A special CD of the 24-bit, full 24-bit, 88.2 wave file. Yeah, this other thing too. They're at 44,100 hertz. We're actually recording at 88,200, and instead of 16-bit, we're recording at 24-bit. So what we do is we make an album, and then we're forced, because of the CD manufacturing, we're forced to take our 88,200 hertz 24-bit recording, which sounds nice and rich and warm and clean and pure and great, and then dumb it down to 44,100 16-bit in order to put it on a CD. And so, every CD you buy is like that. That's the thing. So maybe one idea for these prizes and things for people who help the project, people who pledge, one of the options can be a CD with all the original 88,200 24-bit files, so that they can hear them in high fidelity just as they are in the studio,
That would be a very nice prize, I think.
Yeah. We want to make it as good for everybody as possible.
Yeah, so that you're really getting some value.
And you're not just a T-shirt or something like that, but T-shirts are good, don't get me wrong,
T-shirts are good too, yeah.
But make it as special as we possibly can. So, in fact, if any of you have any ideas about that, go over to the website, republicofavalonradio.com, Republic of Avalon Radio.com, please. And there's a contact thing there. You can send us an email or call the Skype line, whatever. If you have Skype, you can get in touch with us anytime at Republic of Avalon Radio, just all one word. Or there's actually a number you can call if you don't have a personal confuser or anything like that. You can call country code 1, area code 724-426-8176, and it's just Republic of Avalon Radio at gmail.com is the email address. So, any ideas you have about what kind of booty we can throw in for the people who pledge and help support the album? Any ideas you have are warmly welcome, and because we just want it to be as good as possible for everybody, and we want to make our target. We haven't overshot the moon on the target, and it's some kind of a reasonable, I can't remember what it is now.
Yeah, it's
$8,000 or $7,000, which is nothing. I only chose that low a number just to make sure that see, if you make your target, then you get the money.
Yes.
But if you don't make it, you don't get anything. And by the way, for when the time comes just so that you know, your pledges don't come out right away. You don't. That's why they're called pledges. You don't. You don't lose your money if I don't get if we don't reach our target. Your money doesn't go anywhere or anything like that.
Yeah, which is a good idea.
Yeah.
I got one. For anybody, it's just a fun thing, really, but
okay.
It just came into my mind. For anybody who pledges $10,000 or more, we will fly you up here to Newfoundland for the launch.
And let you stay with us.
Yes.
No, we won't do that.
No, okay. We'll cook you dinner.
We will. Yeah.
Yeah, how about that?
10,000 or more.
Or more.
And the more higher over 10,000, then the better the meal gets.
Yeah. That's right. And we're good cooks, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, you're a good cook.
Well, we are.
I'm a good cook.
Good team.
I'm a good cook cheerleader.
No.
That's all I really do.
You're the one that has all the good ideas.
I egg you on. You do the scrambling.
Well, that's...
Yes.
You're the producer and I'm the engineer.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Two very important roles, but ultimately the engineer is the one who gets their hands dirty.
Yeah. And I do that pretty well.
Yep. So, yeah, any ideas you guys have, please send them our way. We'd love to hear them. And what else has been going on? Oh, another song none of you have even heard, I don't think. A song that I wrote for a couple of years ago. I produced an album for a good friend of ours, Vince Carey. And I wrote a song that turned out to be the title track of the album. A song called Dance Hall Days. And it's a kind of one of those reminiscent sort of songs, Makes you feel kind of, I don't know how to describe it.
Nostalgic?
Yeah, nostalgic a bit. The song itself is somewhere in between, Jackson Browne and Joe Jackson and Bruce Springsteen.
It definitely tugs at something in you, like
Paul McCartney and Wings, and oh my God, there's all kinds of little vibes and inferences and things in it. So I've recently, that was on his album. I've never recorded it, so I've been having a look at that lately and, recording some tracks, and that's starting to sound very good. So we'll see how that goes. That'll probably be on there too. What's another one that's kind of recently crept in there?
Close to You?
No, that's been floating around for a while.
All the Way Back Home?
All the Way Back Home, yeah, that's a great little piece of music. It's a song, well, I don't know what you call it. It's kind of a gentle, she's a gentle song.
It is, yeah.
And yeah, kind of a little bit of a samba,
Yeah.
bossa, samba, whatever kind of thing going on. Sort of like, it's kind of like this album's version of Midnight Rover's Merman.
Yeah.
If you know my Midnight Rover album, well, if you don't, then go to jimfiddler.com and buy it.
Yeah, buy it.
Dang it. Yeah. In fact, we're just about to adjust our prices and everything, aren't we?
We are.
We're looking at the American dollar going down the turlet and everything, and so we don't want to leave you guys out in the cold. So what we're looking at doing is, instead of charging $20 including tax and shipping and everything, and sending it to you like that, I think we're going to just bump the initial price down to, I don't know, $14.95 or something like that, and then plus shipping.
Yes. So that way, if somebody local buys it, then of course they'll get a really good deal on it.
That's a very good deal, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even it's a good deal if you order it from Vancouver or Los Angeles or whatever. It's still a good deal.
Shipping really is not very much.
And it's going to allow us to offer, other things too. Like if you buy 2 CDs, you'll get, the individual price will come down a bit, and then if you buy 3, it'll come down a bit more, and that kind of thing.
Sure. Oh, and something else we should mention
as well
is to go on to jimfiddler.com.
Yeah.
And there is...
Hey, Kevin.
There's a fans of Jim Fiddler there.
There's fans of Jim Fiddler there?
Yeah, there.
Where?
No, sir. There's a link there to join
I
fans.
didn't even know I had any fans.
Fans of Jim Fiddler, and it's a Facebook kind of app, I guess.
It's a fan thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're making
Bunch of fanatics.
I'm making an effort on your behalf to keep people informed. To keep people informed about what you're doing and what's coming up. And these little videos as we produce them and all that stuff. So go on over to jimfiddler.com and join up, please.
Go on.
Join up because we want to see that figure rise.
Go on, Natty
We
Dre.
just started it, and right now it's only at about 100, but
Look what we started.
It's very new. So we want to see that grow.
We want to see the number. Lillian wants to see the number go up.
Yeah.
And if she wants to see it go up and it makes her happy, then it makes me happy too, I guess. So, yeah, please make that number go up, please.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, definitely.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And all kinds of cool little things. We have an idea with this record too. Something else that we're thinking about doing in terms of digital EPs, digital download with full artwork and everything. But we'll talk more about that in the future. Where, for example, I'll release a 3-song EP. Boom, you can, if you're a member of the fan club thing, whatever it is.
I met you guys last night.
The beautiful people. You're a fine one to talk. Yeah, we're the most beautiful
I was just working
peoples
at
on
the
the
club.
go. Were you?
I was working for Ford.
Just Mr. Working.
Oh, boo! So you're not coming back now?
We're running up the road now.
I never gone home.
We're recording for our show.
Hello to our
Hi,
Joe.
people.
Say hello to the show.
Hello, Joe.
How are you making out?
Snapping bar.
We are holy snapping bras. Yeah. Here I am, kind of all over his wife, in the middle of the sidewalk.
And he's good with it.
Yes, indeed.
Totally cool.
She's a beautiful, beautiful girl. This girl here.
That's because I worked at the bar and he drank what I made.
And loving it.
I'm loving it.
Now he's going up to O'Reilly's to drink my tips.
There's a plan. Man, these guys got it all worked out, folks.
Guess who's getting up with the children and the dog in the morning?
That would probably
me.
Yeah, would probably be that guy there. Yeah. All right, take her easy. Yeah. What was the other thing I was just thinking about? The EP thing. Yeah. And I don't know exactly how we're going to do this, but what we may do is release like a 3-song EP, and if you're a member of the group, like a members only thing. And it'll be a good deal. I don't know how much exactly. I can't remember what I was thinking about, but it'll be a good deal. And you'll get music from the album before the album's released. And then probably like a month after that, we'll release another 3 songs. And then a month after that, another 3 songs. So within 2 months, we'll have 9 songs out. And then after the 3rd month, we'll release the whole album. And if you've already bought the 9. Let's say there's 12 tracks on the album. If you've already bought the 9, then you'll get the rest of the album for like the same idea, the same price as the 3. So when you add the 3 up 4 times, it'll be what you would normally kind of pay. But you get the music in advance, and we get to kind of hear some feedback from you guys before the album's out, and yes, we do. And it's got a whole bunch of lights in it. It's my fire stick.
Thanks for your fire. Thank you.
And no bother.
Have a good night.
You too. Yeah, I mean that allows you guys to get the music before it's all pressed on the CDs and kind of carved in stone, and we can get some feedback, and you guys can have some input into the process and comment on things and whatever, blah blah blah. And you never know, based on the chat, in the group, we may make changes that you guys suggest, and God knows what. I don't know. But it's to me, it's just a great way of involving everybody. I really like. I've talked about it before. It's invaluable when I'm working on music to have to have a friend drop over and play them some of the stuff I'm working on. And sometimes it's not even so much anything they may say. It's just the fact that they're listening to it. It makes me listen to it differently. And it really helps me in the process, with my mixing and things like that.
It is different when you know somebody is actually hearing it, hearing what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that whole concept of the digital EPs. And then, of course, when the actual physical CD comes out, people can buy copies of that as well, or they can just keep they'll have all the music, high quality, and all the artwork and everything. So, for their iTunes and their iPods and their, Zooms and Zunes and all these things, and Sansas and whatever. So, yeah, that really, I really do find that exciting. Where are we? We's here, folks. Okay. So that's about it for all of that stuff at the moment. Plenty more stuff coming up. But we'll talk about all that later. And we didn't really talk about anything kind of really terribly interesting or zany or fun or anything, really, did we?
Well, maybe you could throw a joke in at the end.
Yeah.
You do that.
Giggle snort. Yeah.
You have to come up with a joke now.
Well, I mean, it's interesting, I suppose. If anyone's listening to us, I think people that listen to this show either know us or they feel somewhat like they know us. And they must be interested, in what we're up to and want to hear about it and stuff. So we're just kind of keeping you guys up to date and keeping you in the loop.
Exactly.
In all that.
Exactement.
So big happy 6th birthday to the Roar.
Yay! I'm very proud of our Roar.
Me too.
Yeah.
We never let it get out of hand. If we didn't have anything really to say, we didn't say anything. And we've brought you some great guests, Colleen Power and Frank Marr and Mike Hanrahan and Eric Bogle and Eddie Grant and Ricky Skaggs and all kinds of people, not even just people whose names you'd recognize, just lots of great people.
Good content, I think, overall. And and we're just getting started.
We're just getting in gear. This is year 6, so they say anything if you get past 5 years. Then. Well,
how many pod faders have there been, I wonder, over time?
Too many to mention. Pod fader, if you don't know what that is a pod fader is somebody who starts out usually around the time that the whole podcasting thing started, really in earnest in 2005, but it officially started, in the fall of, before Christmas in the fall of 2004. But really, 2005 was the big year for it starting. We were right in the midst of the first ones, and man, there were like tens of thousands of them, and then they one by one they all dropped off like flies, and none of them are around anymore. There's not very many of the original people who started out are still around.
No.
So
we're still here. We've had some lapses, but we're still here.
Lapses are better than just going away altogether.
Yeah, I agree.
Our lapses have never been we've intended to just stop it and gave up and then just came back. We just didn't really have anything to say.
That's right. There's no point in saying anything when you don't feel like you have anything to say, or it's just not. Things aren't.
It was like winter time and things like that. Nothing happening, and we weren't able to get out and walk around and.
Yeah.
Whatever. So we just take some time off, and I get a lot of work done in the studio and things like that.
Yep.
So, all right, folks, take her easy. Remember now, go over to the website, republicofavalonradio.com, and click on one of those buttons there and send us an email or send us
we would like
a shout out.
Feedback.
Shout outs are good. I got no shout outs. See?
We don't have
don't have any new shout outs?
We don't have any new shout outs, actually.
No. So if you've never, ever done this, please do. Call the Roar line. It's either, free by Skype, or it's just 1-724-426-8176. And you only have to talk for like 1 minute. How much is that going to cost you, you know? And just let us hear your voice and let your fellow Roar listeners hear your voice. And just call in, say who you are, where you're calling from, and, you know, whatever you want to say. Throw a little bit at the end, condense it, say, do your thing, and then at the end say, hey, this is Bill from Wakaluka, Wakashucky, and you're listening to Republic of Avalon Radio, or whatever the heck it is, you know? We love it, so get them on in there, and we'll love you forever.
We will.
All right, then. See y'all.
Bye. See you
Y'all
next
come
time.
back now, you hear?
Yay.